Hi, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making a Jell-O salad, and I love this one. It reminds me of Easter, which we have coming up. I love the color of it, and it's a lot like my other Jell-O salad, because of the green. And I like, when I make the lime Jell-O salad, I like to make this one to go together with them. But first, I would like to thank Joy for my beautiful birthday card. It was my favorite color, and all the birthday wishes that I got. And just thank everyone for tuning in to all the channels during our March collaboration, and I did say that right. And thank my son for being such a brat, and someday I'll get even with him, but it's all in fun. So let's get started with our Easter Jell-O salad. I like this one because it's the right color. It's kind of a pink, and that reminds me of Easter. We'll start with a can of crushed pineapple. Now with your pineapple, you save the juice, and then you add just enough water to it to make a cup. You don't want any more water than that, so you'll have a cup of water and juice together, and that's what you'll make your Jell-O with. And you'll have one small box of Jell-O. And then when that boils, we'll just bring it all together. And then we're going to have, the recipe calls for the small can of mandarin oranges. And I laughed when I bought them because my uncle always said buying a small can of mandarin oranges is kind of a waste, because like this one, after I drained it, I have that many oranges in it. And he loved mandarin oranges, and that many oranges wasn't even a bite. So I'm using a whole can of mandarin oranges because Uncle Ralph loved them, and a small little can of them wasn't even enough for him. So we're not going to use a small one. We're going to use a large one. Then we're going to take an orange, and we just need a teaspoon of the peel, the orange peel on it. And I may end up with a little more than a teaspoon because I'm not measuring it. So, but I hope everyone will try this recipe. And like I said, use this one and my lime one together, and it'll be great. I love Jell-O salads. Now this one I'm going to have to let set, of course, so it sets up in the mold. I'm going to try it in a cake mold. I've never tried it before, so we're going to have to let it set up before I can use it. Take it out and show it to you. So we'll have to let it set up, and then I'll bring you back and do it, because it's really neat. After it sets up, when I bring you back, I'm going to have frozen fruit that I put around it, that I make little, on the top of it I'll make little Easter baskets, and then I'll do the fruit that I make out of fruit and coconut that I'll dye green. And it's really cute. So we won't get it finished real quick here, but for me it won't be fast. For you it'll be really, really fast. Okay. Now once I get that in there, then I am going to make my whipped cream. Sorry for the noise. You don't have to use homemade whipped cream. I just like it. Then you'll use a can of of cranberry sauce. Now I'm going to take my cranberry sauce and I'm going to put it right in my whipped cream and kind of bring it together just a little bit so it's not one big chunk. There, I want it a pretty pink and have some little pieces in it. So, and I find I can do that easier in my mixer. There. My sister Carol and I, we were closer to the same age, and we used to, didn't have a lot of money, and every once in a while we'd take what money we had as kids and we'd go buy a box of Jell-O, and we would take that Jell-O and we would just eat the Jell-O like that. We wouldn't make it. We would just eat the Jell-O like that, and it was good. I'm going to put into that, I'm going to add just 3 or 4. That's enough. Cool it off a little bit as I finish up my whipped cream and my cranberries. That's so pretty. I'm going to add those to my mandarin oranges and my pineapple. Now this is really pretty if you just want to make it in a clear dish and serve it that way also. A lot of people don't like cranberries, so don't tell them it's cranberries. They'll eat it and won't even know it. Just bring everything together real nicely. And like I said, you can leave it in a clear bowl. It's really pretty. See how pretty that looks inside? Easter's a fun time for the kids, but make sure you tell them what Easter is about. I shouldn't have done that, but we're going to eat it, so my fingers were clean. I'm going to pour this in here, like so, and then I'm going to mix it all up, set it in the refrigerator until it starts setting up. See how pretty that is. Oh my goodness, how pretty. I'm going to get this all mixed up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cake molds and I'm going to attempt something that I've never done before. I'm going to put these in my cake molds and see how they turn out. There we go. I don't know how many I'm going to have. So set them in the refrigerator, and when they're all set up, I will bring you back. Okay, I'm going to wipe these off a little, then put them in the refrigerator and let them set up, and I'll see you when they're all set up. Okay, now we've got the Jell-O setting up in the refrigerator, and I am mixing up some egg whites. Now this, you don't have to do this. I just think it's pretty if my Jell-O turns out the way I want it to. And that don't always happen, considering I'm putting my Jell-O in cake pans instead of Jell-O molds. It'll come out of that. I'm not going to guarantee that it will. I'm going to hope it will, but it may not. So if it don't, we'll just put it in a bowl, and it'll be pretty because it's pink. And I think that's so pretty for Easter, and it reminds me a lot of my lime Jell-O that I make. And I think this is something you don't have to do, you don't want to. I just think it's pretty on there. What I do is I take my strawberries. You can use you can do strawberries, you can do green grapes. I didn't have any green grapes, so I'm doing all strawberries and the red grapes. And I'm not going to do it that way because it's giving me too much sugar. I thought that might happen, so we'll knock a little bit of that off, and we'll put our sugar in the bowl. But what I do is I put this on around the put it around my Jell-O when I dump it out, take it out of the pans, and I just add it around it a little bit. It just adds a little more decorations on them, and it's really pretty. The kids like it. Sometimes it makes them eat it because sometimes the kids don't want it, and this way they eat it. Now I have to put this on here, and it doesn't really matter when you put it on there how you do it. I just decorate a little bit with it. So, and then we'll do our grapes. It's pretty when you have green and purple grapes, but I didn't have the purple, so you'll get the idea. So anyway, this is how we're going to do it. Oh, I remember one year, Easter was in March. You never know when it's going to be anymore. But we were at Mother and Daddy's, and Daddy loved Easter. I think Dad was more of a kid than the kids were kids. And all three of us girls had made the Easter eggs. And we thought, well, there's no need making them because we must have had a good 6 to 8 inches of snow. But that was okay. We always went to Mother and Daddy's on Easter, and Daddy always hid the eggs. Sometimes the boys helped, sometimes they didn't. This was one year they said, forget it, we're not doing it. There's too much snow. Dad, you don't need to be doing it. But my dad, like I said, he was a kid himself. He was a big kid. And he went to the back door, and my sisters and I stood in the window because the house was up a little bit, and we watched him. And he stood there at the back door, and he took the eggs, and he took them like this, and he rolled them over that snow. No one had been out in the snow, and it was beautiful. No tracks in the snow. And you would see these long trails in the snow, 30 of them, 40 of them, I don't remember how many, but you would have all these little narrow trails, and then all at once it would stop and down it would fall, and then the egg would lay there. And from where we were at, we could see the egg, and you would have all these beautiful colors just laying out there in the snow. Now the kids couldn't see them until they got out there, but from where we were, and I've regretted that ever since that day that we didn't take a picture of that, because it just looked like God had just dropped all these eggs down in the snow. most beautiful sight that I think I ever saw. And they were beautiful. But that was Daddy. He always did something different. And they were beautiful. So I'm going to clean up my mess and wipe my tears. And I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, guess what? It didn't come out of the molds. But I kind of thought it might not because my cake molds were too curlicues and all that. If I used a regular mold, it might have, but it didn't. So we're going to have a very pretty, colorful dish. Anyway, it'll taste delicious and it'll be pretty. But I'm still going to use some of my grapes. See how they turned out with the little glaze on them. And we will put those around. I would have put them in my molds with maybe 3 together. I'd have taken some of my strawberries and put in like so. And they would have been real pretty. But since they didn't turn out like I wanted, like a lemon. If you got a lemon, don't know what to do with it, make lemonade. So that's what we're doing. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do with some of my fruit. You can take and put them in like this, put them around. They would have been real pretty like that. They would taste the same. So that's what we're doing. And I'll just use a few of them and put them around. But they'll taste delicious. Now I'll have all of this, the ingredients posted down below. And you can just, if you want to make it in a mold, maybe I will for the holiday, but I'll use a regular mold. I won't try to use my cookie mold. Now I'm going to do something different though, after I lick my finger. Sugar, yum yum yum. That's what my grandkids would go. They'd go yum yum yum, Memo. Okay, I am still going to do put my gloves on, because if I don't, I'll have green fingers. I did that one day and sat down and went like that and got green dye on my clothes. What I did was I took my coconut and my food coloring and I made my Easter egg. Easter egg grass. So I'm going to put a little bit of this right in the middle, and I'm going to make an Easter basket. Now you can do this for Easter, or you can just wait till, you don't have to do this, especially if you don't have children. But you know me, I've got those grandbabies coming in, great grandbabies. And then I'm going to take some of my candy, my Easter eggs. I'm going to call these Easter eggs. And I'm going to put these right in the middle. And these are delicious. I don't know if you've ever tried the Starburst jelly beans. They're a little bit bigger. And oh my goodness, are they delicious. We're going to put a black one on there. The black jelly beans was my daddy's favorite. But the Starburst jelly beans are, oh my goodness, they're delicious. I can't stay away from them. But anyway, they are delicious. So I hope everyone will try this. This is delicious. You can just make it if you don't want it for Easter, and you want to make it and have it for a different holiday instead of having it for Easter. Make it and use a different Jell-O in it. Now I'm going to save this fruit for something else, for another dish. But that is my Easter Jell-O fruit, and it's delicious. I love it. love it. Yum, 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 yum. I could eat it all. I hope you'll try it. Talk with my mouth full. You don't have to put the fruit around it. You just make a little Easter basket in the middle. Or just put the fruit around it. Or don't use any of it. Just make the Jell-O. But I love making this one and then my lime Jell-O and using that for the holidays. And I'll have all the recipe posted down below. Try it, let me know what you think, and have a great Easter, and the kids will love this. And remember what Easter's all about. Thank you, bunches.